All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is March 4th, 2025. What a wild ride today. All right, let's go take a look at some charts. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. I want to thank everyone for being here. So here we go. From the get-go, gap down. Bears didn't fill the gap first thing. All right, we traded right into the lows down here. Okay, rare clear down to like 572.35, and we had a target of, I think 570. And I know there was a target down there. We had this target low, which was right here. So whatever that low is, we had a target low of 575.35. All right, that was our target low. We kind of figured they would spike it hard. All right, so here's price action spiking that 575.35 area hard right there. All right, then we double bottom, and then we just melted up. Huge melt up day. Okay, so we melted up from 572.60 clear up to 585.64. All right, that's like a $12, $13 ride melt up. That's huge. That's huge for one day. And then after that, guess what? Then we get a $10 meltdown right here from 585.73, clear down to 585.73, clear down to 575.83, or actually 74.83, $11 meltdown. So we end the day with a 10-minute downtrend right here under VWAP. All right, nice move. 10-minute downtrend on the 2-hour chart. Still in a 2-hour downtrend on the daily chart. All right, what do we got? We got a lower high and a lower low closing under the bearish trap, under the 17 EMA, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the daily chart. All right, let's take a look at the weekly chart. I want to point something out. Okay, on the weekly chart, all right, we just wrecked the weekly uptrend, making a lower low right here. Okay, we just wrecked it. All right, so weekly uptrend is broken by today's candle. Okay, so price action, I want to just share with you my hypothesis, all right? So price action moves up, all right? I've got two of these that should play out, okay? The first one is price moves up. Make it a little thicker. Okay, price moves up, all right? Then cuts back, and then moves up, and then cuts back, all right? And I think this one comes a little lower, like right into there. And now, guess what? I think price cuts back up here. I don't know, but I think it will. I think we consolidate up here. We'll see what happens. And then I think we put in a higher low and then maybe off to 620. We'll see. If the higher low doesn't hold here, well, we could come all the way back down and challenge this area. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, so that's hypothesis 1. Okay, now we're going to go through hypothesis 2. All right, and that involves the shorter time frame. All right, so we're going to set up on the hourly chart. All right, and you can see price action comes down. All right, now I think we consolidate in a box through here. How big this box is, I don't know. All right, I think it kind of plays out before AVGO reports or not long after. Right, so we got to move down. I think again we go through a consolidation period down here. We've gone up, we've come back, we've made a higher low. We may go back up again, all right? And then I think we either pull back, make a half back, and then rip back up, or we come down and make a half back and then go south. All right, so either one of those could play out. All right, but I actually think we head back up to this 6.7, 6.08 area. All right, and I think it plays out kind of like this. All right, a little bit like this, where price comes down. We already went up to 585 and we came all the way back. All right, so I think we go back up to 585, and it may take 2 days. It may take them longer than just 1 day. All right, and then again, it may happen real fast. And I think then we put in maybe a half back, look for that higher low right here, and price to take off back up in there. And AVGO may be the catalyst, or maybe some tariffs that did the job that they were supposed to do, and then we lift them, and then price winds up coming back up here. But watch for that catalyst, all right? We already have the dollar in a downtrend, all right? So I think we consolidate down through here. That's what I think. I don't know that that's going to happen, but that would be normal for... See, good thing I got these shapes because I can't draw. All right, so that would be normal, all right, because we're at... Let me back out one, just a little bit more, all right? Okay, because we're at... All right, we're at the M pattern, all right? Here's the M. All right, price moves up, moves back, moves up, okay? And then moves back, okay? So it would be normal for a battle to take place here. And that's why I'm calling for possible consolidation right through here. It may happen fast, all right? It may happen slow. But I think the breakout is going to be the catalyst for AVGO earnings. I think NVIDIA did a great job. I think all of big tech did a great job. They're certainly not being rewarded for their great job with these low numbers right now. And I think after this pullback, I think maybe not this week, but next week, we may see the reward coming as we make a trip from the bottom here, okay, because we came up, came back, came up, came back up to this side, all right? We'll see what happens, all right? But first we got to play out the battle. The winner of the battle will either shoot off to the north or the south. Will either go off this way or go off this way. There may be a failed breakdown, and then we head back up to test the highs. All right, there may be a failed breakup, and then we head down to test the lows right over here. All right, so I'm just saying, watch your price action for something like that to happen over the bigger time frame. Right now, we got ourselves into a weekly downtrend, a daily downtrend, an hourly downtrend, a 2-hour downtrend, and we got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. All right, so now that I've shared my hypothesis of what happened. So I'm looking, so that's a $10 spread right there, or 15. So that would be normal for price to consolidate up there, just as it did up here, okay, between 590 and 605. Notice the consolidation, then failed break up higher, and then we came back down. Okay, so it did the same thing here. All right, notice the consolidation that really happened up here. We came from down here, pulled back, went up, pulled down, went up, did a half back right there. There's the half back, okay, right there. And then we ripped out and had a failed breakout. Because the breakout failed, we came all the way back down to test the lows. That's exactly what happened. All right? You see it? So I'm kind of expecting, guess what? The same kind of price action to play out here between 570, 585. All right? So kind of the same thing. I'm looking for up. You already came back down. probably go a little bit lower, all right, and then back up, all right. I'm looking for the same thing to happen here, all right. That's what I'm looking for, all right. So we'll see, and maybe a failed breakdown, and then they rip all the way back up to there, all right. We'll see what happens, all right. So that's just sharing that, just so you know, all right. That's what we could possibly be looking at over the month of March. All right, March is typically seasonally, I think it's a good month. I think March is typically a pretty good month. So it would be normal to see SPY back up at 605, 607, all right, sometime in the middle of March. All right, so we'll see what happens, all right? Right now we're going to trade with what's in front of us. All right, so let's take on the scratch. Okay, price action. Kind of almost, kind of fell out of the upper third there. Okay, so just neutral on SPY down here. Okay, if they can regain this upper third, okay, they'll be bullish right now. All right, from the quad lines, take a look at it on the daily. All right, here's the August lows. Okay, see, we're not in the upper third. All right, see that? That's where we need to be, above that. We're not above that. Got a big tail, and maybe we closed in the upper third. Maybe right there. That's cutting it close. I'll give it to them. They're in the upper third, but they're bullish, but I'm going to call them neutral. All right, that's it. SPY. Okay, notice they're under the low anchored VWAP here. So this is the breakup candle that started all of this. So that's the anchored VWAP that goes on it, and they're under it. That's not a good sign. Okay, so there we go. So that's why I'm gonna keep them at neutral, even though they probably are in that upper third. So there's SPY, just neutral right there. All right, and let's go take a look at the next ones. All right, let's take a look at, who do we want to look at next? QQQ. All right, here's QQQ on the daily chart. Today's candle looks the same as SPY, but it's green as opposed to red. I like that. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Back here at the neutral zone, right on the midpoint, that's just neutral. All right. So there's QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU, same deal. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, back here on the neutral line. All right, just neutral. All right, right on the midpoint, that's neutral. Breaking the uptrend. Maybe they start a new uptrend from here. We'll find out. So there's FNGA. New ticker now, FNGA instead of FNGU. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Their ticker is still the same. All right, Diamond Dow, lower high, lower low. All right, we got lower highs and lower lows to hand out to everybody. Everybody got a lower high and a lower low. Close under the trap. Everybody got to close under the trap. Under the falling 17. Under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Under the uptrend line, okay? And not in the upper third, so that's just neutral. Go up, give it up, that's neutral. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow. All right, let's take a look at IWM. Okay, same deal. Everybody gets a lower high, lower low. See that? Close under the trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Guess what? IWM is down in quadrant 1. You guys know quadrant 1, that's bearish. IWM is bearish. All right, but look at the candle they gave us. The bulls and the bears agree with the price. Kind of a spinning top, big wide doji, whatever you want to call it. More of a spinning top than it is a doji. Doji's usually short and squat. This is more of a spinning top. So looking like possible move back in the reversal, back up to here. We'll see what happens. So there's IWM on the daily. Again, lower high, lower low. Let's take a look at the technicals. T2122, and guess what? We find ourselves in the oversold zone. Exactly what I kind of thought was going to happen after making all of these lower highs and lower lows through this yesterday, and we find ourselves in the oversold zone. All right. Now, we could camp out here for a while. We could exit here immediately. There's no telling what happens. All right. Market's weak. All right. Did you see that $10 drop in the last 30 minutes? Okay. The bulls should have handled that. Okay. Notice they couldn't handle it. They did make a higher low, but let me just say, it was in the final seconds that they were able to make a higher low. We'll see what happens. All right. Just keep an eye on it. All right. So there's T21.22. T21.23. All right. You got selling program happen in the morning, a little buying in the afternoon, and then the $10 drop that we had in SPY. You can see that was also replicated in the T21.23 with price action pulling back, making a possible higher low. Making a possible higher low right here. Okay, let's take a look at the 3-bar chart. Same deal. All right, notice where we hit. All right, so last time we bounced off this prior all-time high. Notice we got a little bounce. All right, not much follow through on that bounce. All right, then we got hooked by the 17, falling 17, and now we're into the other prior all-time high. All right, and then we got to bounce off of that. Okay, so maybe we can find our way back up to this fading 200 SMA there. We'll see. Really don't want to see us make a lower low. Not here. All right, so there's T21.23. All right, on the 3-bar chart, still underneath the 200, checking the prior all-time high right here. All right, so there's T21.23. FNGA. All right, we're going to call it A for now on, if I can remember. Okay, selling at the beginning of the day. Got the buying program, nice rally. Failed to make a higher high. All right, so they made a lower high here. Okay, hopefully, in all these indexes, we make a higher low. And then we work ourselves up to make a higher high. Okay, that's what I'm looking for to happen. All right, so there's FNGA, a big drop out of the sky, 505, clear down to 474. That's a big ride. 505 to 474. That's a big drop. All right. But they landed on VWAP, so that's a good thing. So if bulls can hold it on top of VWAP, that would be interesting. Under VWAP, I got to tell you, I think the bears are in charge. All right, still underneath this falling 200 SMA. All right, got to break through that. Got to do a lot of things. We got to, first things first, before we even think about a 200 SMA or an all-time high anchored VWAP, we got to make a higher high. All right, that's first things first. And that starts with a higher low. All right, so we failed to make a higher high here. So hopefully we can make a higher low and start producing some higher highs. Other than that, I see more downside. All right, so there's FNGA. Let's take a look at some technicals, actually some sectors. First sector, let's look at XLE. All right, here's energy. All right, same candle as the index. Under the trap, under the 17. Under downtrend line 1, under downtrend line 2. In the middle here, it's just neutral. That's energy. Let's take a look at UNG. Wow, UNG pops a new all-time high today. Look at that. New all-time high for UNG. Higher low, higher high. Closing over the trap, over the 17. That's bullish. If you didn't know that, that's bullish. Okay, let's take a look at USO. USO, the exact opposite. almost. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, right into the notch, all right? I've been talking about this for, I don't know, 3 weeks, ever since I created the buy box, looking for price to come right into this notch and bounce. Well, that's a pretty good tail right there. I got to tell you, that tail looks a little bit bigger than the wick and the body put together. So there's your bounce starting right there. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, so price action coming right into the notch. The only place left it could go is test these lows down here. All right, we got some support at 70. If they hit 70, we should find support at 70. All right, also should find some support right in this notch. Wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce back up into the buy box. So there's USO on the daily chart. It looks like it's on top of this 3-year high anchored VWAP. We like that. All right, just neutral though. All right, just neutral. Why? Because it goes up and it keeps giving it up. Okay, got to get up there and hold. Or either get up and hold or get up and go. All right, just keep going. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. Here's gold today, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish cross over the 17. That's bullish up there in quadrant 4, up over this prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Silver trying to break into the upper third, just can't get it done. Silver just neutral here. Today's candle, outside day, higher high, lower low, closing over a bearish trap, over the 17 EMA. Not quite in the upper third. If they could get up in the upper third and hold it, it'd be interesting. All right, right now, just kind of neutral. All right, so there's silver. Let's take a look at SMH. All right, SMH is bearish down here in the lower third. All right, it's bearish. Really didn't want to see that. Again, just like the indices, lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, just neutral down here. Okay, so let's take a look at XLK. XLK neutral at the midpoint. Again, same as the indices, lower high, lower low. All right, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, that's XLK. Hard drop down sometimes means a hard bounce back up. We'll find out. Have to see what happens next week. So there's XLK right into the midpoint, just neutral here. Let's take a look at XLF. Let me just say XLF yesterday put in a new all-time high. Crazy. With all that selling going on yesterday, XLF made a new all-time high. Today's price action, not quite representative of what happened yesterday. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, still up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. Let's take a look at take a look at IYT. All right, IYT. Lower high, lower low, just like the indexes, but red. Closing under the trap, under the 17, just like the indexes. Closing under the uptrend line, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, just neutral here, right at the midpoint. All right, so there's IYT. There's the transports. All right, that's it, traders, for today. All right, we traded the game plan on SPY. Made a little video of it. If you want to watch it, it's going to be posted on YouTube soon. But here's a game plan for SPY today. As you can see, we took a continuation of the 10-minute downtrend and traded it down to the lows. Then we had a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP and traded that up to the gap fill. All right. Then from the gap fill, we had a reversal all the way back down to VWAP, making a higher low. All right. So there you go. Yeah, XLF, new all-time high yesterday. All right, traders, that's it. All right. I know you guys did great today. Everybody have a wonderful afternoon. All right. Wonderful evening. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Let's try and do this again. All right. Thanks, everyone.